Well, hello everybody. Welcome back. Jujitsu 2000 here today. I'm back. I hope you guys are doing fantastic out there. I've got an interesting video for you today. We have another offering from Klarus. This is model XT21C, Tactical Extreme Output Flashlight. As you can see, it has a maximum output of 3200 lumens, 1-inch body diameter, 5000 milliamp hour rechargeable lithium-ion 21700 cell. And on the side of the package here, you can see one-touch strobe. It's got USB C charging, 1 meter impact resistant, and it's IPX8 waterproof down to 2 meters. So very cool. Now on this side, we're going to see that it's also saying again 3200 lumens, 324 meters of throw, 240 hours of maximum runtime on moonlight mode, and then the candela on the high setting is 26,280. So here is a look at the specifications of the light. Feel free to pause your screen if you wish to hang on to that information there. There's also the runtime chart. And here's some optional accessories that you can get for this light. And there is some contact information for Klarus. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open this up and take a look and see what's included in the packaging. As you can see, the packaging is very clean. They're talking about removing the insulation film. They're talking about how to install the battery and basic information about operation of the light. So you just open that up and then the light is right there. But we're going to take a look here and see what's in this small box. So let's pull this out. So the first thing that we see here is a lanyard with a spare O-ring. The next thing that we see is the USB to USB-C charging cable. And lastly, there's nothing left in that box. We see the owner's manual for the Klarus XT21C. Again, please feel free to pause if you want to read any of this information. There's some information on the light. I'm just going to scroll through fairly quickly because I'm going to talk about all of this stuff in this video here today. So the current price point at the time of me filming this video for this light is about $105. Now this light is very unique because it has two different modes of operation. It's got the tactical mode, which it comes shipped that way, but you can also enter a outdoor mode, and I'll talk about that in this video. So the first thing that we see, let's take a look. Let's set the light aside for a second, but let's take a look at this holster. So you see a nice Velcro enclosure, padded holster. I wish they would have had like a magnetic closure or something like that. Got a nice D-ring on it. It's a very open holster. So if you get water, the water is going to come right out, which is perfect. That's what you want. And right here, I really like what they've done here. So you can apply this to a belt, but you can also take this Velcro off and maybe slide it into some MOLLE, like on a backpack or maybe around a shoulder strap or something like that. And then you can Velcro that down. So you actually have two different attachment points right there for that holster. I like that. I think the holster is good. It says Klarus on it. Very nice that they include that with the light. And I think it's going to do a great job housing the light and keeping it very well protected. You know, if you're going to be rattling around and banging it around, it's going to protect the light. And that's really all the holster is designed to do. Protect the light, right? So we are looking at the Klarus XT21C. First thing you see right there is the battery level indicator. That's also going to serve as your charging indicator. So the head of the light is a little larger than the body. XT21C, I like the feel of it. It's got a pocket clip. Now on a flashlight this size, I probably wouldn't use that pocket clip. It's not really a pocket flashlight in my opinion. You've got two buttons on the back here. You got this one that kind of rocks. That's known as the mode button, and then you got your main button right here. USB C charging port, and you have a stainless steel stripe bezel. Very nice, and it can be threaded on and off. Don't know why you would need to take that off, but it's threaded just in case you might have been curious about that. You can take it off, and looking inside you can see that there is a very nice glass lens. Inside we see an eggshell or an orange pill type reflector, and inside of that at the very center you're looking at the LED. That is a Luminous SST70 LED. The dimensions of the light, we are looking at 35 millimeters or 1.38 inches. That's the head. Now the body of the light is 25.4 millimeters or 1 inch, and the length of the light is 146.5 millimeters or 5.78 inches. This light weighs 109.8 grams or 3.87 ounces, and that weight is without the battery. We'll go ahead and open up this tail cap switch. We want to take a look at the battery, and we also want to remove that insulation film. So here you can see that the tail cap switch is very nicely constructed. There's that insulation film. We're just going to take that out. And there is the 21700 cell. Operates at 5,000 milliamp hour. This is a protected cell, and I think it'll pull about 20 amps. So very nice. This is a proprietary battery, as you can see here. So that's the positive, and that's the negative end of the battery. And there's a look down inside the battery tube. Not too bad. Now to install the battery, we're just going to take the positive and put it towards the head of the light. And we'll screw down this tail cap switch. You can see that O-ring right there. And that's nice because as we thread this down, it'll go over that O-ring and it'll create that IPX8 waterproof rating that this light has. Let's take a second and let's talk about charging this light. So you'll open the port and you'll plug in your USB-C, and then you'll spin this around and you'll see a red indicator. It's telling us that we're charging. When this charging is going to be complete on this light, you'll see that indicator change to green. Now you can use the light, but the only brightness level that you'll get when charging is low. So you try to cycle through the modes, you're not going to get anything but low. Okay, and that's okay. It's cool to have some light when you're charging. And here we can see the green indicator telling us that charging is complete. So we'll unplug the USB-C and make sure that we push this charge port cover back into place so that this light will have its IPX8 waterproof rating. Both of these buttons can be momentary or constant. So you go straight to turbo with this button. And strobe warning again, you hold that down for a few seconds and then let it up, it'll stay on strobe. Okay, so but if you let it up within a second or two, it's not gonna stick. Okay, so it's momentary, but if you hold it, like I said, a couple of seconds, about 5 seconds, it'll stick to that strobe setting. That's a 3200 lumen strobe, and it'll last 8 hours. Now this light, because it's in tactical mode, it's going to come on to the highest setting, so it comes on to high. That's 3200 lumens. That'll last for 3 minutes. And then it'll drop down to prevent the overheating. It'll drop down to 800 lumens, and it'll stay there for an additional 4 hours. Now to cycle through the modes, we're just going to push that mode switch. So we turn the main switch to turn it on, and the mode switch to cycle down through the modes. So now we're down to medium. This is 400 lumens for 7 hours. Push it again. We're going to go down to low. That's 100 lumens for 20 hours. And then push it down one more time. We have the lowest setting. This is 5 lumens. It'll last 240 hours, or I think that's about 10 days. Push the mode again. We're going to go right back up to high. 324 meters, 26,280 candela. Go down again to medium, 133 meters, 4422 candela, and back down to low, 68 meters of throw, 1156 on the candela, and then of course moonlight mode, 17 meters of throw, 72 candela. So very neat. To turn the light off, we turn that main switch and it turns the light off, and then again when we turn the light back on it always comes on to the highest setting. Now when we turn the light on, I want to take note of this little indicator here. You see that that indicator is illuminating green. That's telling us that our battery is good, and that's going to stay lit up for about 5 seconds. Green telling us we're between 70 and 100%. If that light drops and changes to orange, that's telling us we're between 30 and 70%. If that light illuminates red, we're less than 30%. And then if you see flashing red, we are below 10%. So it's pretty neat how that works. This light does have an SOS function as well. So we've got moonlight, low, medium, high, strobe, and SOS. Strobe is only accessible from the tactical side of it, and SOS is only accessible from the outdoor side. To switch modes from tactical mode to outdoor mode, we're going to pay attention to this indicator, and we're going to hold the mode switch down until we see this indicator go red, green, okay? And then at that point, we're going to continue to hold down the mode switch, then we'll push the main switch. And it looks like this. So we're going to hold it for 5 seconds, and we're watching that indicator. There you go. The indicator changed. Now push the main switch. Now let off the mode, let off the main switch, and now when we push the mode, we shouldn't see a strobe, we should see moonlight mode. See that? So now we have moonlight mode, and we're still going to come on to high with this main switch, but we can also use the mode switch to, instead of stepping down from high, we're going to step up from moon. So we're going to go moon, there's low, medium, and back to high. Now if I push and hold, we're going to get the SOS function right there. So I pushed that for a few seconds, and the light is now in SOS. SOS is only going to put out 100 lumens, but it'll last 60 hours. That's 2.5 days. So it's a very cool function. Okay, single press brings us back to the last mode before we entered SOS, which was high. So then the mode switch, again, we cycle up in the settings. It always starts on high, whether you're in tactical or outdoor. Really, the difference between outdoor and tactical is if you're climbing up in the settings or climbing down through the settings. And in the outdoor, we're climbing up. The settings and runtimes are all the same. It's just the way that we access them is different. And instead of getting a direct access to strobe, we're getting a direct access to moonlight mode. So maybe we're in a movie theater and we don't want a strobe, you know, we don't want a 3200 lumen strobe. So let's go ahead and switch it back from outdoor mode to tactical mode. So we're watching for the indicator. We're going to push and hold the mode switch down. There, the indicator's telling us. Now we push the main, release the mode, push the main again. Now the mode should get us strobe. Yes, so we're back. Now, when we push the main to turn the light on, we're going to cycle down through the modes. And there's no SOS here. This light doesn't carry a memory or anything like that. When you turn the main switch on, which could be momentary or constant, it's always going to come to that high setting first. So let's go ahead and turn the light on and cycle down. That's a little bright. We'll put it down to the low setting, and we'll test the IPX8 waterproof standard of this light. So as you can see, we're putting it in the water, and now we'll hit that mode switch and we'll cycle through these modes. There's high, medium, low, and moonlight mode. And then we'll turn it off, and we'll hit the mode switch to see that strobe, and everything is working good. You can see that it passed the IPX8 waterproof testing with flying colors. That is pretty cool. Okay, we're out in the shop. We have the light on tactical mode, so we push the power button or the main switch and we get to high, which is 3200 lumens. This will last for 3 minutes before it overheats and steps down to 800 lumens, which is going to run for an additional 4 hours. If I push the mode switch, we'll go down to medium, which is 400 lumens, And on this setting, it'll last for 7 hours of runtime. Push the mode switch again. We're going to drop down to low. This is a good setting. This is 100 lumens for 20 hours of runtime. And then, of course, we push the button one more time, and it's going to drop down to moonlight mode. This is 5 lumens, 240 hours of runtime. That's 10 days of runtime. And most moonlight modes on flashlights don't give you that kind of output down the distance like what we're seeing here in this video. Now, if I push the main switch, it'll turn the light off. Now, strobe warning if I push the mode switch. This is a 3200 lumen strobe, and this will last for 8 hours. This is a very disorienting strobe. I really like it. And I like the fact that it has quick access to strobe. Single press on the mode button turns the light off. Now, if I push and hold the mode button down, we're going to switch to the outdoor mode, and I'm cupping the flashlight so you can't see that strobe. It's pretty ridiculous. So now, when I turn the main switch on, we're going to come back to high, just like before, but the difference now is instead of cycling down, we're going to cycle up. So from high, it's going to go down to moonlight mode, then it's going to go to low, medium, and then high. So very cool. Now, if I push and hold the mode button, it'll enter the SOS, and this is what the SOS looks like. It is 100 lumens, and on the SOS setting, it'll last 60 hours. That's 2.5 days, and that's a good setting to have in case you run into an emergency or something like that and you want your battery to last. You want to get somebody's attention or something like that. This is a good setting for that. Hit the main switch, it turns the light off, and then again, main switch, we always come back to high, whether we're on the tactical mode of operation or the outdoor mode of operation. And really, the big difference is outdoor gives you SOS and tactical gives you strobe. Outdoor, you're going to cycle up. So you're going to go from high down to moon, low, medium, and back to high, where versus the tactical, you're going to start from high and then you're going to go down to medium, down to low, down to moon. So depending on what settings you like, that determines what mode of operation you'll run your light in. But I like it this way because I have quick access to the moonlight mode, and if I'm going to be in an area where there's a lot of people or something and I don't want a lot of attention, I can easily get to this moonlight mode. So personally, I'm probably going to keep it on outdoor mode for me. I don't really need a strobe or anything like that. So my final thoughts on this Klarus XT21C. I like this light. I think it's a well-built light. I like the stainless steel strike bezel. I like the fact that it's a glass lens. They've got a good LED in it. I don't like the charging port. That's any flashlight that does that. So it's not a knock anything against Klarus specifically. It's just I don't like charging on the light. I have a battery charger, although I will say that of all the lights that have charging ports on the light, Klarus did do a good job with this. Now, the knurling on the body of the light is good. However, when I was doing the IPX8 waterproof testing, I could tell that the light was a little slick. It was a little bit hard to hang on to. I don't think, in my opinion, that this is aggressive enough if you're going to be in a water type situation. The light does get warm, but let's not forget that we're cranking out 3200 lumens. I love the fact of being able to change modes from outdoor mode to tactical mode. I think that is just absolutely fantastic. So we're able to switch modes on this light and kind of customize it to what we want. The pocket clip is nice. It's got good retention. However, the carry is going to have about 1 inch of flashlight sticking out of your belt. But this light, with the head size, it's a little big to be carrying in your pocket anyway. So not that big of a deal for me. I like the battery. The run times are good. The switches are quality. It's just a good quality built light. I don't like that they use a proprietary battery. The fact that the light gets warm, that really doesn't bother me too much because they're giving us a 3-minute before step down, and that's 3,200 lumens for 3 minutes. That's pretty impressive. I noticed that the light will not tail stand, so there's no tail standing here. This thing is very difficult to tail stand, so if you're going to be trying to use this as a night light on a bedside table or something, this is not the light for you probably. I do like the quick access to strobe, you know, or turbo. So this is a good light. I'll put a link in the description box down below where you can find it. I want to say thank you to Klarus for sending this out for review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please feel free to leave comments down below, like this video, share this video, and until next time, have a beautiful day. We'll see you then. Bye for now.